Fitzgerald uses language and structure to present Gatsby's unhealthy wealth obsession as throughout the extract, Fitzgerald continuously highlights all of Gatsby's large collections of enormous and expensive items to feed his desire to be seen as an extremely wealthy man. When describing how Gatsby's guests arrive to his enormous mansion, it states that his Rolls-Royce becomes an omnibus, bearing parties to and from the city. This presents Gatsby's extremely lavish lifestyle as his already incredibly expensive car is able to fit enough people to become an omnibus. Having an omnibus in the 1920s was extremely rare and only the richest of people were able to purchase it. This attempt to present his luxurious life to try and win over Daisy's love is a constant battle, as whenever he does stage his magnificent parties, she doesn't take notice, and as this is all set up to present his wealth to her, this is in some way a waste of time and a waste of money for Gatsby. Additionally, Fitzgerald uses Gatsby's wealth to present a completely different idea to the idea of wealth, to the way that Greenfield presents wealth. Gatsby continuously states that the grotesque amount of money and riches that Gatsby owned throughout the extract, with an example being when Fitzgerald describes his house to be filled with buffet tables garnished with glistening hors d'oeuvre. The phrase glistening hors d'oeuvre translates to glistening appetizers, which presents Gatsby's wealth as usually people wouldn't have appetizers but rather only have main courses. Moreover, the word glistening adds to the idea of his large wealth as it describes the food to be in some sort of special way, which may link to the idea that Gatsby owns chefs that cook for him with high experience levels and with very high quality to the production of the food. Furthermore, Fitzgerald presents the guests as pets and creatures that are only there to help him show his love, desire, and wealth to show Daisy. A point that presents this idea is, in the Blue Gardens, men and girls came and went like moths. This shows that Gatsby truly believes that his guests are pests, as he doesn't try and pay any attention to try and get to know them, as the only reason for them is so that he can feed his desire to look richer and better than others around him. Moreover, Fitzgerald describes them as girls rather than women. This shows that they are extremely young women and that they are only there to further present his wealth and to show it off to others, and hopefully Daisy to show her that she should pick him over his current fiancée. All in all, throughout the extract, Fitzgerald shows the idea that Gatsby's unhealthy obsession with the need to fill his everlasting wealth issues through language and structure, through the use of listing and consistently showing ways in which Gatsby spends his money on potentially pointless items to exaggerate his wealth to try and catch the attention of Daisy through his lavish and exquisite parties that he holds week in, week out. Greenfield's Generation Wealth is a project that took place in 2008 and 2017, after the global recession. In Generation Wealth, Greenfield highlights the lifestyles of the top percentage of the world's population. She then presents them as capitalists who are narcissistic, through perhaps it could be said that the picture that she took reflects her cynicism originating from somewhere else instead. Firstly, capitalism is where the economic system is controlled by private owners for profit. Generation wealth, the poor generation are dying out and only the wealthy are surviving. The new American dream is to become insanely wealthy and to be famous like any celebrity. Greenfield does not know what it's like to be poor, as she went to Beverly Hills High School and went to Harvard for her education, so she does not know what it's like to be struggling, as she hasn't experienced it firsthand. Generation Wealth presents a photo of a mother and a daughter both wearing extravagant clothing and being surrounded by very expensive looking items with golden objects sprinkled everywhere in the house. Greenfield's work consists of showing the results of what happens when ordinary people are in hold of an unhealthy amount of wealth, which they have the ability to freely spend their large sums of money. This is all to feed their addiction to present themselves as richer families than others. Additionally, she presents this form of wealth to try and show that this is what a normal person's life should look like and what it should consist of. For example, in the presentation of a mother and a daughter walking in their lavish apartment, the camera angle is taken from a shot that is below the woman that is in the focus. The idea that the viewer of the photo is presented to be lower than the woman. This would link to the social hierarchy and how she is shown to be above the rest of the people perceiving the photo. This idea of the social hierarchy is splattered across the entirety of history, with it mainly occurring with people that acquire magnificent amount of wealth, and this shows with the woman in the photo. Furthermore, this idea of the social hierarchy shows that the woman in the photo believes that she is above other people, in a way that she believes that her wealth is able to present her as better as others. Furthermore, the camera is actually on level with the daughter. This shows that she is on level with the people looking at the picture, as she is at such a young age where her perception of wealth hasn't yet formed, and she's completely oblivious to all of the money and high status that she has at her young age, as she isn't aware of such status. Moreover, the use of the words "I am a luxury" on the woman's shirt presents the idea of irony, as she presents herself as an item to be consumed by somebody. This shows that she perceives herself as more of an item than a being, which shows that she also sees herself having great value. This presents the idea that the high amount of wealth which she has obtained blinds her perception of herself and potentially hinders her natural well-being, as she no longer looks at herself being human, but rather an item that can be purchased. All in all, both Generation Wealth and The Great Gatsby present both the people in the photo and Gatsby respectively as having a high amount of wealth. This high amount of wealth hinders their perception of themselves and leads them to change natural well-being of how a normal person would react to certain experiences.